Lent is a difficult time. It's a time where we contemplate endings, where we grieve. Some of us weep. This can be a time of sadness or even depression. And one of the hardest days is Good Friday, the day where we commemorate and speak about Jesus' death. If you've read through the scriptures, you know this is a horrifying story. Even if you peel back any religiosity, make this just a conversation about a man who was fighting for what he believed was the most important thing in the world. He was fighting for things that I think we all agree, religious and not, we agree that caring for people who can't care for themselves, that's one of the highest goals of humanity when humanity's at its best. And specifically, he was doing it by pushing back against religious leaders, especially the elite, who were making religion very, very difficult for people who were poor. He was doing it by pushing back against the cultural norms that held people down. He was pushing back against oppression in a religion that started anti-oppression. And he was killed for it. He was killed because he was getting too noisy. He was killed because he was taking too much attention away from the people who wanted to control the narrative. He was poking holes in the truth that they wanted the people to believe. And they killed him. That's what Good Friday is. I'm not sure what tradition you might be part of, but almost every group of Christians celebrate Good Friday in one shape or another. I think the Roman Catholics and Eastern Orthodox churches have very deep, ingrained traditions. I grew up in the Presbyterian Church in Canada. I now serve the United Church. These are traditions in which These are denominations for which Good Friday was important and is important as well. It might be that you belong to a church who are more focused on Easter, because of course Easter is only a few days after Good Friday. And Easter is easier. It's celebration, it's joy and hoopla and alleluias. But that's not really how life works, is it? You don't get the mountaintops without the valleys. You don't have the really, really good days without also struggling through the valley of the shadow of death. We live lives that are complicated and messy. Sometimes they're sad and depressing. And Good Friday gives us space to sit with that. Not overlook it, not push it away. In fact, it invites us in to contemplate our own mortality, to be real about death, about destruction, about systems and organizations and policies and political structures that oppress people, that are more interested in killing the people who speak out against oppression than addressing the internal problems. That's what Good Friday is also about. I don't know if you've been to a Good Friday service recently. I'm going to invite you to do that this year. If you're not part of a church already that does that, then find one that does. If you're around Chatham, you can come by St. Andrew's United Church. We will have our worship service at 10:30 in the morning on Good Friday. We will read scriptures, we'll tell the narrative. There will be music that puts us in a space of contemplation. But wherever you are, whatever you celebrate, even if Christianity isn't something you're comfortable with, maybe this is the year that you wonder about a man who was trying to stand up for the things that were most important to him, and he was killed for it. Even without the layers of religious dogma, we can all understand that.